When life falls apart, it's actually an invitation for you. Let me explain. I'm Michele Thill with Newland Wellness, and this is for women who are over 50 and going through a life transition like divorce, as I did. And I want to share with you how, when your life falls apart, it actually can be opening up for you an invitation for something more. Now, it may not feel like that in the moment, but if you've been following me, you're someone who isn't freshly out of a divorce. You're someone who's in that middle place. You're past the heartbreak, you're past the shock of what's happened, and you're into the what now stage. And I want to share with you the hope that I had that had helped me when I began my journey 10 years ago. I turned to books. I turned to mentors on a spiritual journey to help me, because I chose what happened to me as an opportunity to break me open instead of break me. And you get that choice as well. You may choose, as some do, to let a situation like a divorce break you. Or you can choose the bigger picture thinking and let it break you open. And today I wanted to share a book that I've been reading that I have really been enjoying and applying in my own life. And I found an interesting part in this book that I wanted to share with all of you. So the book is Self-Help by Gabby Bernstein. And in here, she mentions the moments in our lives when we're on our knees, struggling with addiction, going through a divorce, walking away from a career, receiving a diagnosis. Those terrifying moments in life are the catalyst for our greatest awakening and transformation. They are the moments that crack us open to the possibility of believing something new. They are the moments when we surrender enough to self for help. She goes on to say, on the night I sat down to work on this chapter, I received a heart-wrenching text from a friend who that simply read, he asked for a divorce. I immediately called her and she bravely shared her pain as she spoke about her husband, the man who once fulfilled her desires, now leaving her. Amid the tears, she courageously acknowledged her own role in the relationship, recognizing the need for self-healing. With compassion and clarity, I responded, "This is your opening, sister. When you hit rock bottom, you have the opportunity to heal the core beliefs that block you." Though my response may not have been the motivational talk she hoped for, it was the truth. Instead of offering quick tips for manifesting a new partner or ways to persuade her husband to come back, I shared the most significant advice I could give her. Turn inward and explore the beliefs that hold you back from the desire, or from the love you desire. I can so relate to this. I myself went on a journey of self-healing once my divorce had ended, or my marriage had ended, excuse me. I went on my own eat, pray, love journey without the fabulous locations or Javier Bardem at the end. I decided to go inward Yes, it was comforting and it was easy to just put all the blame on my ex. What a bad guy he was. And we later discovered that he does have some brain disorders. He's been diagnosed with bipolar, for an example. I do feel there's an ADHD there as well. And some would deem there's narcissism involved. And he self-admits to that. And I admit that I too wasn't perfect in the marriage. I was a very anxious, worried person. And on my journey of something more, of looking more within, when I was introduced to Oprah and more of her self-help and the New Earth and all that, the journey I was led on, I was growing and we were growing apart. And no one's perfect. And I started working on my own flaws and taking a journey within. This end of my marriage was the beginning of me rediscovering myself and going more into an authentic role of myself. It was surrendering, but that doesn't mean giving up. It means giving over and letting go of how things were supposed to be, because I was so in control and I wanted everything just perfect. And life isn't just perfect. And now I find in the imperfection is a more authentic life. And I offer you in your journey that hope that though you didn't want that marriage to end, this even could apply to somebody who say, now your kids are going to be going off to college and you're empty nesting. Something that, we look for them to fly, but now that they are, you're left sitting there going, my gosh, now what? What does my life look like now? You may have lost a partner or a career. You're on a journey of a life transition that feels like the end. And though that part of your life has ended, a new one opens up and begins. A life now where you get to enjoy yourself more. I get to choose what I want to do, what I want to eat, where I want to go. I choose to live a more peaceful life, because I was living a very dramatic life with my ex. He, because of the way his brain was working and firing, was very much into drama. And I was living in that. And there was a time where I liked the drama myself. And then as I started growing, I started realizing that drama wasn't helping anything. The fighting, the worrying, the anxiousness, the getting worked up, especially over small things. I think back to all of that stuff and how now I like to live a more peaceful, calm life. How when my ex and I did separate, though my kids, who are at the time in their early 20s, were shocked and sad, at the same time, they saw a more peaceful me emerge, as opposed to the woman I had been. When they say we stuck it out for the kids, the kids get to see what we're too caught up to see. And I realized how I settled down and relaxed more and started healing myself because I was working on myself and not just looking to rush into another relationship because I didn't want the same situation with a different face. And you hear about that. I wanted to take my time and soul search and discover what lights me up, what aligns with my core values now. So I look to, and when Gabby talks about the self-help, self being the big S in us, that to me, I call it the inner power, that presence of us that is more in our hearts than in our heads, where all those thoughts come from. It's instead those feelings. And this is actually a fabulous book that I've been getting into, where she talks about the different parts of us, that we don't have to own all of, I'm not going to do it justice properly, but like for example, when you say, oh, I'm just an anxious person, it's not actually you that's anxious. It's a part of you that's anxious. It's a protector part of you that's looking to help you. I'm not doing it justice, but it gives you an idea, and it helps to start realizing that we have more control over ourselves, over our thoughts, over our lives, over our health than we realize or we're led to believe. And by tapping into that inner power or that inner self, that all-knowing, higher version of ourselves, we bring more peace in, because peace doesn't come from out there, especially in the world you're living in with your life, and in the world we're living in these times. The peace comes from within. It's a beautiful journey where you have the opportunity to let go of how things were supposed to be and start creating a life that aligns with who you are now, seeing the gift in the mess, seeing that life transition as a catalyst to something more, like Gabby shared in this book. I've walked that path and I've seen the difference it's made in my life. I wouldn't be sitting here with you now if I were still living in my old life, because I was living in the shadows and playing small. And that was a role I held at that time that I no longer am holding. What are you holding on to that it's time to let go of? What if this is a sign for you to let go of some thought, some feeling, something that you've been holding on to, thinking that it's helping you, when it maybe actually is kind of breaking you in a way? That journey of self-awareness, when you start noticing your thoughts, you start noticing what's going on in your head, you start connecting to what's you're feeling in your heart, and you start listening to that small, quiet whisper, because that's how it is. It's a small whisper that's calling to you. Are you hearing it among all the noise? Time to get a little quiet and listen to what your soul is calling next for you, to look at this life transition as a new beginning for you to move forward, and to do so with hope and with faith and with trust. If you like what you hear, if I resonate with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more. And if you know of someone who could benefit from what I am sharing here, please share this with them, because this journey might feel like you are alone, and you don't have to be. There's so many of us women out there in this time in our lives who are walking on a similar path, awakening to something more. Let's do it together. And I'm going to add in here as well that I have a beautiful, powerful, ultimate checklist for major life transitions. It is a small 5-step guide that could give you additional insight as you start walking on this path, or as you're continuing on this path. And it's free. I'd like to be of service and be of help to you. And I'm here for you. And I want you to know I believe in you. The link for the ultimate checklist will be in the comments. Until next time, be well.